After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 471. Today is Saturday, September 11th, 2021, as we are recording. We'd like to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you are new, we're glad you found us. We hope that you find something you like and that you will return. And if you are returning, we are always glad to have you with us. If you are new or returning and in the shadows, please feel free to join us officially. Hit the little red button that says subscribe and the little bell so that you get the notifications and bumps us up a little bit when people search for podcasts. And if you want to take part in the alongs and things and all the camaraderie and all that kind of stuff, that happens in our homepage, which is phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's phnpodcast.freeforums.net.
Link is in the description box. We are trying to be a bit more active on there. There's a sub board opened under the general discussion where we'll talk. We have books, threads for books,
fiction,
nonfiction. If people want to start other threads, they'll be able to. In the fiction and nonfiction threads, there's a rating system that I found on a site where they do rate books. They try to do that for their members or whatever. So I stole their rating system, put a link to it, and
by rating she means like PG,
yeah. Although they have it like none, mild, moderate.
Because one of your admins, me, is very much a PG person. So,
so the only one I didn't add on there was the one that they've said something like, the rating they had basically was like, we didn't finish this book,
right?
Because we couldn't continue. That's not a rating I will put in there because we didn't read the book. You know.
Yeah, I mean, unless you really want to say this one was so horrible, then you could just put it in there like that.
Yeah. But I didn't add that last one on there.
And by sub, she means a subject heading within the general thread. Okay.
I said subcategory.
Yeah. Well, still subject is what you meant. Just in case people aren't familiar.
But yeah, so that is available. Plus, there is an announcement that you'll see whichever board you happen to be on that shows you a way that you can link pictures in without having to necessarily do it as attachments. I have pictures embedded to try to help you along that process. It worked quite well. So hopefully we can then be able to keep more pictures on by kind of working around the system.
Right, because usually when you embed it, it doesn't have as much problem as when you do an attachment.
Right, because they're not holding on to it.
Now, okay, I am Lady Furnico. Okay, I'm Marlisha.
Did we not introduce ourselves?
Nope.
Oh, hi, I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
And I'm Marlisha, also known as Lady Furnico, okay? So, so now we've done that invertedly. Inverted, yes.
Inversely?
Inversely, yes. That.
Also, just want to encourage, a moment of remembrance, a moment of prayer, because 20 years ago,
today,
there was the two towers were crashed into, and there were all the people who died with all the different planes.
And people forget about the Pentagon.
People forget about the Pentagon people
and the field.
So
for the heroes and the victims. Yep.
So prayers for those who lost people
and those who are gone.
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm sure we all remember where we were on that day.
Oh, I remember exactly. My husband called. I was homeschooling, and we were sitting. And actually, I think my desk. This was different. My desk. Anyway, my husband's called from work, and we turned on the television, and that was at that point only the first tower, and then we turned on the TV, and the second one came in. So it was really. It was like when I remember watching the Challenger disaster. It was that went off.
There was a teacher on that, right?
Yes.
Because that was the one that was like everyone
Krista McCullough.
remembers her because
McCullough, yeah.
all of her students were crushed.
Yep.
I was like, I guess I would have been 14. It was 20 years ago.
No, Christy McCullough. That was.
No, I mean for this.
Oh, this one, yeah, but you didn't switch.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't switch.
Okay, yeah, you were 13 or 14, something like that.
So I remember it took a bit to register what we were watching, and then when we were told to go back to school, I turned on the radio and was trying to listen so I could understand a little bit better.
And I know that it gave me the shivers because my husband worked at the Pentagon. We'd only been retired a year and a half or 2 years, and he worked in that area of the Pentagon. So it was like, oh my gosh.
Mom, he'd only been retired
1.5 years.
Yeah, because it was 2001. Yeah, that's right.
Yep. So anyway, that's a long, convoluted way of saying, just
take
a moment to say a prayer or a thought or something.
And I apologize if for you that was too much, but I feel like we can't just ignore.
Yeah, and I was waiting for a place to put that. So moving on.
It in.
Moving along, we do have some announcements before we go into other things. Oh, I guess we should say, how many projects do you have?
Show notes. How many do you have?
6.
I have more than you.
Okay, so you have to go first.
Yes. But, for tea, yes. So I have actually 2 different ones because I didn't finish my breakfast tea. So the breakfast tea, this was, the Creme Brulee Earl Grey, by Plum Deluxe. So that's what this one is. It's in my, All I Want Is to Hug All the Bunnies mug. And I'm almost done with this. And then in my other mug, this is my Chester Bunny mug from Plum Deluxe. And it is...
So cute.
Yes, he is very cute. And I have chocolate hazelnut dessert tea in here.
Yummy. Mm-hmm.
Honeybush tea, cocoa nibs, hazelnut pieces, hazelnut essence, love and gratitude. No caffeine. But I had caffeine in my other cup of tea, so that works.
And since she had 2 Plum Deluxes, I went with Simpson and Vale because I needed peppermint. My stomach is acting cranky, and I needed caffeine. So, because I stayed up late last night. So this is Simpson and Vale Jane Austen Black Tea Blend. It's got, let's see. Where does it say what it has? I can't find where it has. Oh, wait, here it is. This is... I don't know.
Wrong side, Mom.
I couldn't find it.
It is here.
Oh, okay.
So she's got black tea, spearmint, lavender flowers, and vanilla flavor.
And normally black tea is not a good thing for me in terms of... This one is one of the few. This one and the tea that Stephanie sent us, the Earl of Grey.
Earl of Grey.
I can handle both of those.
I also want to bring up that thank you to Nancy. She suggested us trying Adagio tea. Mm-hmm. I have some coming in. Their site is amazing. Mm-hmm. And I am so excited. I have coming in, we're doing the samples. So Mom has 2 coming in and I have 2 coming in. I have Black Dragon Pearls and Scottish Breakfast. And Mom has chocolate truffle and chocolate chai puree. Puree.
How we say that?
Yeah.
I know people told us repeatedly and we keep forgetting.
You see, Mom, the pearls actually look like
they look like those
balls.
other things, yeah. Okay, so before we get too far off now, we want to get back on track because we're starting extremely late today. And we're going to have lunch, so I don't want to be rushing at the end like I sometimes have to do. We want to tell you about some administrative type of stuff, to quote the Stockinette Zombies. We have mentioned about the new bags and the new logo and all that kind of stuff. And we held back sending you the stuff until Anne got back to us about the bags. So we're almost ready to do the pre-orders. I think it's going to be a bag and a skein of yarn. Okay? I still have to work out the logistics with Anne, but we're making progress. Mm-hmm. Now, this is the old logo, as you guys are well aware. All right? My husband's artwork. And that's been for like 8 years, I think, this one. And then this is the 10-year logo that we're going to be using on the bag. And this is, again, my husband's artwork. So you can see the difference. And then this is what we're going to be using for our logo from this day forward, so to speak. Okay, so it's just a little bit different in coloring. Now we use all 3 of these logos in the bag. I said, Anne, this is my idea. And I gave her the idea. And Anne, being the awesome person that she is, made it better. Okay? This is what she came up with. Now, the background might be a different color. It might be slightly grayer, okay? She said that she had a little bit of difficulty with the gray. So it might not have the exact same background color. But you see, we've got the 10-year logo, the original logo, and the new logo without the 10-year. And that's also on each row, Taya. So Taya noticed that we have the chameleon row, the heart row, and the phrase row.
And
okay?
they stick to what they belong to.
It goes all the way across.
Yeah,
but what you didn't say though, Taya, is you also have
the pictures stay consistent as well. I noticed that. Yeah.
So that's this yarn is my yarn, Spoon in the Woman Cave. The words say, and that's a wrap. And with the chameleon, it says Spoon in the Woman Cave. So those are all terms that you guys are familiar with if you've been with us for any length of time.
So it's a really good callback. She came up with something really clever. Really love how that worked out.
She did an amazing job. The bag sizes that will be available, medium, large, and extra large, okay, at this point. I don't know the prices because I contacted Anne and she gave me this, but she forgot to tell me the prices. So I'm not sure how much they'll cost just yet. And then the yarn, I'm thinking about doing fingering sock. If somebody wants a DK, they need to let me know. I'm thinking about doing a sparkle base, so I need to know how many of you don't mind if you would prefer Lurex or if you would prefer regular sparkle.
I unfortunately left my Lurex in the other room, the one I was going to use for design.
Lurex has that very definite kind of sparkle to it. And I know at least one of our members doesn't like that, so I would have to talk to her if she decided she wanted to buy this kit, and I would give her a normal sparkle.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I know some people don't react well to that Lurex. Okay? I'm debating on whether I'm just going to offer one base or if I'll have, the DK and fingering sock. I don't think I can get the DK and Lurex.
The other option is to have the non-Lurex and then the gentler sparkle as options.
And that's what I was thinking of. Except the only thing about the gentle sparkle is it's very gentle, okay, depending on what base I use. So I'm thinking that out. I'm working that out. So you guys have to let me know if you're okay with just fingering sock or if some of you want DK, okay? I can do that. I have those bases, okay? And I have sparkle in both of those bases. So maybe I'll just do the sparkle and the non-sparkle.
I think I forgot to turn on my light. As soon as I finish this knot, I'll turn
That is not at all what I'm talking about.
No, I know. It just occurred to me. I was thinking about I forgot to turn on the blue lights so people didn't walk in us. I mean, I know you have your light on, but they could reasonably say that they thought we were done because I didn't have my light on.
So if you guys want to let me know what you would prefer for yarn, so I can kind of get an idea. I'm still trying to figure out if this is going to be feasible, but I'd like to be able to do this. And if you can give me some input in terms of, what weight you want, DK or fingering sock, or both, in terms of what you want available, sparkle and non-sparkle, or both available. And if you want a different base, bear in mind that I can only get the sparkle in the DK and in the fingering sock at this time. Okay?
And yes, we both realized that I don't look like the picture anymore because I decided right before release that I was going to cut my hair because I couldn't stand it anymore with the headaches. So, yes, that is why my hair doesn't match.
And people wonder why my hair doesn't match. If you're new, I have my hair up in the back. My hair is quite long. Okay, so those of you who don't know us very well, I didn't cut my hair.
Oh, is your hair up in that picture? Hang on, me.
No.
Okay.
That's what I said. I said why I don't look like the picture.
Oh, okay, yeah. I
Because
see. Yeah, you have it fully down.
I have it fully down there. So most of our old people, our veterans, if you will, know that me cutting my hair would kind of take an act of God. So I just have it up.
Whereas me dyeing my hair would kind of be like the world ended. But whereas I go up back and forth between different.
And
lengths.
I have cut my hair, and there may be a time in the future, but that future's not here, not yet. Okay.
Today is not that.
Today is not that day. All right. Okay.
Reference.
So, yes, it is a reference.
Do you know what the reference is?
I can't be bothered right now. I'm trying to keep us. Oh, right. Right.
And everyone can read my lips, so there we go.
Right.
I totally gave it away to everybody.
Okay, so moving forward, let's see here.
Do you find that whenever you think of reading lips, you end up thinking of like Tom Cruise in the, what is it? It's the one where he gets married to Julia, where they start the movie with him. He's at the engagement party, and they make a point of him watching everybody's lips, and he's able to read their lips and follow along with the conversation.
I don't think of that. No,
I do.
I just finished reading a book where the lady.
Oh, that's
lips,
true.
So
that's true. But yeah, I think of that movie because they actually did a really good job. They established the fact that he has that skill, and then they used it later in the actual plot instead of just like.
Oh, he can read lips.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's awesome. Okay, before we go on too much tangents, I know I'm really gonna have to be kind of tunnel vision because, as I said, we started late,
And there's a lot this time.
There's a lot this time. So okay, all right. The alongs, the Christmas all year long is going very nicely. I have been trying to pop into threads. I haven't gotten to that one yet, but I love seeing the activity. Please keep it up. Don't let our level of activity dictate yours, okay?
And also, there's something that you can. There is a link in the journaling thread in the general area where Pat figured out a way. That's Lenny Hiker. She figured out a way to have open in a browser window the most recent posts, and it constantly updates the most recent posts, so you can constantly see all the most recent posts. So I have that as one of my opening pages.
I'm gonna have to do that if you show me how to do that in terms of making. I don't understand what you mean by opening pages. I am not computer savvy. I know enough to be dangerous.
So
okay?
Yeah, that is a very good link if you want to try to keep up with what's going on in the threads and not get lost.
And if I see things coming up, then I'll answer them most. That's
what my thought process is too.
And honestly, I want to be more active there. I want to see a lot of activity there because this is a great group and everybody's really supportive, and I'd like to bring more community in there.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that this past year or so we haven't been great with involvement. I know, okay, let's be honest. Even in Ravelry, we're starting to drop off with involvement. But we're going to try. So, like, Rena's not carrying everything.
Rena is a wonderful moderator. She is like the pack mule of moderators. I love Rena. Rena, cyber hugs. PHN cyber hugs.
Yes, because we would probably fall apart without you.
Rena's awesome. We love her.
And we have a bunch of great moderators.
Yes.
I mention Rena in particular because she is doing a lot.
She's our most active moderator, but we have two other moderators who are also wonderful, and we have other people who are not moderators who are wonderful. So
I mean, I just mentioned one, the Looney Hiker.
Yes. We have wonderful, wonderful people. Some of our people, things starting to open up and stuff like that, they're doing more different things, and don't
I'm wonderful and you're
don't
wonderful.
even.
And reference.
She's doing it again.
It's a reference.
Everything is awesome. I don't know.
No. You remember?
Vaguely.
It's after they were together and they're kind of drunk, and he's carrying her out.
All right.
And she's just wonderful. I'm wonderful.
Right.
You remember now?
Vaguely, yes. I remember more. Where's my wandering parakeet?
Now there, people are going to get that one, definitely.
Possibly. I think they're more likely to get C.K. Dexter Haven. You have
well, that is a dead giveaway.
Well, it depends on how many people actually watch those movies.
Oh, cultured people.
Anyway, going back to this along, which I really am trying to get things on the straight and narrow.
Indeed.
Okay. Christmas along. It exists. It's a full year thing, okay? It's a full year along, and we are in the third quarter. There will be third quarter prizes, 2 of them. And I'm going to read the rules for this, and then I'll just kind of adapt them as we go on for the other alongs, because we have a couple other alongs as well. All these alongs occur in the PHN home group, okay?
Yes.
And you'll find a link in the description box, all right? So this runs 1 whole year. Projects must be knit, loom knit, or crocheted. Previous WIPs are allowed, but must be worked on during the along itself. Chatter and pictures are in the same thread. 1 WIP per project per week. That's a work in progress, okay? Post the FO, finished object, whenever it's completed. And we have any FOs. The featured patterns and featured yarns for our alongs basically are the same unless we state an exception, okay? So featured patterns and featured yarns. For the yarns, Lady Fernico Creation yarns and Lollipop Girl yarns. That's me and Laura concert, okay? The featured patterns are anything by Laura Concert, anything by Talia, and anything by me. I only have one pattern out there, but that's a featured pattern. If you do a finished object in a yarn that's featured or a pattern that's featured, it's 2 chances at a prize for finished object. If the finished object has a featured pattern and a featured yarn, it will be 3 chances at a prize, but you are responsible for your multiple postings. I'm going to smack her one, and everybody will say that she deserved it.
Well, the thing is, you know what's going to happen is I'm going to have a huge crash later because I'm running huge not even energy. It's like the punchy I get before my crash.
Yes, this is what I have to deal with day in and day out. It's okay though. It's all
I haven't
good.
had one of my punchies in a while.
No, you haven't. Okay, let me see here. We also have. Okay. It's hashtag PHN Christmas all year 2021 on Instagram. The FO uses, if an FO uses 50 yards or less, please post it with another FO of 50 yards or more. Okay. Operation Christmas Child, the Pregnancy Center. I think we said Brittany's, but I think Brittany's are finished now.
Yes, but we had some take over. It was.
Who was it?
Was it Pat?
I forget. There's another one. I don't know where it's at.
Someone on Patreon.
Okay.
It was either Margaret or Pat.
These are featured as well, so 2 chances at prize for finished objects that go to them. Projects made predominantly in the Christmas colors that we chose arbitrarily of red, blues, greens, silvers, golds, purples, pinks, along with white, will be eligible for 2 chances at a prize for the FO only. You don't have to use all those colors together, but it does have to be predominantly one or more of those colors, okay? And that will be 2 chances at a prize for the finished object. Operation Christmas Child. Did I mention that? That was,
you did.
Okay. In the Pregnancy Center. Okay, I'm not going to go through the prizes because I did that several weeks running. Now, the Cardiac Dysautonomia has only about 2 weeks to go because that one ran. It started in, let's see, this is July, August, September. Started in July, so it ends the end of September, so that's September 30th. And this is basically the same rules, same feature patterns, all that kind of stuff, but the colors that are featured are blues, teals, pinks, and reds, okay? And we did have the caveat that we know teals can be kind of iffy in terms of what's considered a teal. It's kind of like turquoise and aqua. It's kind of be a little bit iffy, kind of loose about what they are. So if you have something that's more green, but the ball band says teal in any way, shape, or form, post the ball band with the yarn and we'll allow it, okay? Because I know that if it says teal, that it's teal, but we have to know, otherwise we think it's green, okay? So, and the colors are, blues and teals and reds and pinks, okay? And that's the shades of those colors. Let's see here. Stop. Tag your projects PHN CDA 2021 on Instagram, okay, if you want to post them there. Let's see here. Those are the same. Okay, that takes care of that one. Now this one is not ours, so I'm going to be reading the rules. This is Laura Concerts. This is the tortoise versus hare, and I think we've been doing this for about 6 years.
We haven't been doing it 10 years.
About 6 years?
Maybe something like that, but definitely not 10 years.
No, you haven't been designing for 10 years. 6 years, I think. We've been doing this for a long time, but...
I was already working at Warren by the time...
Were you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's about 5 years.
Because I started designing after my second to last breakup.
Right. So what I'm saying is...
And I was already working at Warren then.
How many years did you work at Warren?
Oh, heavens.
5?
5 or 6.
Because
I worked at Winchester a little over 2 years.
Okay.
And I think I did get to about...
You were
6 or 7 years.
6 here and 1 at Northwestern, I think.
1.5.
So it's been about 8 years. 7 or 8 years. I didn't realize how soon we started that. Probably 7 years. Because it gives you time to design.
Well, because the podcast I started before I started designing. Right. So I started that at Winchester.
Right. So what I'm saying is it's probably about 7 years, maybe 6, 7 years that we've been doing this with Laura. It was actually, I forgot how early on we had this, that she started it. Okay. Now for this one, you have to be a member of the crochet, the group to which you are posting. Okay. This is Crocheting Hoovian's Baby, but if you want to post, you don't have to post in both of them. You just have to be a member of the group to which you post. Okay. Because somebody asked me, does he have to be a member of both? And I said, no, as long as you're a member to the place that you are posting. Okay. The projects must be worked on between July 1st and September 30th. Okay, so Laura does allow works in progress. Okay, you just have to work on doing along. And I think Laura, you have to check her Facebook and her Ravelry if you're still Ravelry. I think she allows anything, all crafts. I'm not positive, so you have to check it out. We only do knitting and crocheting and loom knitting at this point. But it can be anything that's rabbit or bunny, bunny or turtle, tortoise type things. They can be together, they can be separate, as long as it's themed turtle or hare or both. It could be the yarn, the project name, the pattern name, as long as it's tied in somehow with tortoise versus hare. Okay?
Mom, I figured I was at Warren a little over 7 years. Because I was at Winchester a little over 2.
Yep.
Because I was very close to hitting my 10 years.
Yeah, because
at that health
right,
system.
and you've been. I keep thinking that you're 10 years in nursing, but you were not.
I was over.
By
10
now, you're almost 12. If you had stayed. So,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So about 7 years. Okay.
Well, you think about it, I graduated in 2009.
Yeah. So now you're derailing me, but everything else is the same. The hashtag is Tortoise versus Hare 2021. The featured patterns are anything that's turtle or bunny related in my yarn, Laura's yarn, Talia's patterns, Laura's patterns, or my one pattern. Okay, if you can make it, fit in that. And if you do the featured yarn and the featured pattern, 3 chances at a prize, but you're responsible for the multiple posting. If that's a little bit disjointed because of the side tracks, it is in the group. Okay.
It is. Yes, everything that's pertinent to longs is in our
Everything is
forums.
awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Ha ha ha. You like that? I'm a brat. I should have worn my brat shirt. It's too hot though. Okay, so that takes care of that. The whips and the FOs are on the same thread. And I forgot to mention, I know a lot of our members are not part of Ravelry. Laura has bent over backwards to make sure that if you're not on Ravelry, you can still post to her group if you're in her,
Facebook.
You're her Facebook group. It's in the thread in the group, and it tells you all the different places via email,
and
Facebook,
I actively
whatever.
update with like Tortoise versus Hare. Like I post mine there because I can't get any prizes in our group.
Yeah, I posted mine. I actually posted something, everybody. Ooh. This little guy, he made his appearance over there. So
You just made the Woman Cave rock.
it always rocks.
Rocking around the Woman Cave.
It always rocks. Okay, that takes care of that. We are moving on. Your turn.
Rock you.
I'll
Okay,
rock
quickly.
you.
Okay, because I think I have 10 or 11. I don't know how that even happened. Oh, no, I do know how it happened. I worked a little bit on things.
I basically didn't work on hardly anything because I was doing other things.
Yeah, I had 11. So I do 2 for all but 1.
Okay.
So the first one is just a bag.
It's a bag.
And I worked like 1 row for this.
He's the bag. He's the guy. He's the guy. Yes, that is a reference. Can we be reference heavy today?
So this is in my Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival bag.
What? Oh, he's getting sheared. It's a barber chair. I was trying to figure out what he was sitting on.
I actually never really looked at it that closely.
That's why it just struck me because she turned it and I was looking at it, as you do when it turns. I'm like, what is he doing?
So this is a design in progress. Didn't work a lot, and I just did it during the Patreon live yesterday.
Design in progress?
Design in progress.
Your design in progress.
Yes.
You have not shown it here.
No, I don't show it here.
Perfect. Okay. Yep. I am
okay.
Groot. I am Groot.
It's okay.
I am Groot.
Groot. So next is in my. That must be on the other side. Yes, here it is. In the little red bag with bunnies on it that Emma gave me.
Emma's such a sweetheart. Emma, I know I owe you something on What's Up, but I'm just a terrible person. I just haven't gotten to it.
So these are my Cronkled Owl Socks by KF Jones. And I'm using West Yorkshire spinners in the owl colorway.
Did you work a lot on that?
Not too much this time around.
Not too much.
Now this, I've come to realize I'm using US ones like she called for, but I think this will still fit on my foot. I've already pulled it on over, but my gauge to get what she gets, checking something else I knit, my gauge is actually would be to do US 2s where she does US 1s. Right. This will still fit me, but in the future, socks that are not already started will be done on US 2s, right. Which means I probably need to make sure I have a collection of US 2s. But I know I have at least one. But we all know how bad I am at just doing one.
Just one.
Oh, I guess I didn't really show it very well, but no. I'm on the foot.
I like the way that works out. It's really pretty.
Well, I'm actually I have 2 skeins of this because they sent me 2 fingering weight when I had ordered 2
DK or whatever.
Aran weight. Yeah. So they let me. I forgot it was 2 that they had sent me.
Oh wow! Okay, so we can do the other ones.
You know those owl socks where they have the lace that look like.
Right.
How can I not use the owl yarn for that?
Yeah, it's got to be, yeah.
And since this lace is not really going to obscure it too much.
Will it be scratchy, though?
Well, you'll have a chance to feel mine, but I think that if we condition it, it'll be just fine.
Yeah, let's see. That's not too bad.
No, it really isn't. And it's so pretty. You like the yarn. And it's matchy.
Matchy.
I'm going to have to pull out my owl bag and put it in there.
Yes.
I mean...
You have an owl bag?
Yeah, I picked it up a long time ago from Pullover.
How do you have an owl bag? I thought I had all the owl bags.
Maybe it wasn't an owl bag. Maybe it's just a bird bag. I thought I had an owl bag.
Birds on the Wire?
Maybe I'm thinking Birds on the Wire. I know I have a turtle bag.
My Tootsie Pop bag is empty.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking Birds on a Wire is an owl bag, and it's not.
You might have an owl bag. I'm just giving her a hard time.
I can't really recall. But yes, this. Like, I should use US 2s when I'm knitting for her. Okay. It also, I think maybe, well, my testers have said this before. I'm a tight knitter, so that might be why all my sock patterns that require any fitting, like the color work, I'm having to go up a significant amount for color work.
Right.
Because, at least for the socks, because apparently I am just getting to be a tighter and tighter knitter.
I wonder why. Usually you loosen up when you get comfortable knitting.
I think I have... It's going to sound weird. It's like an almost machine-like way of doing things when I knit.
But still, you should get looser, not tighter.
I don't know. My crochet did the same thing where it got tighter as I went along.
I remember that.
So I don't know what to tell you. I just get tight. It's not because I'm stressed. It's not because I'm like doing any super pulling or anything. It's just... For whatever reason, I tighten when I get used to it. Because I might be pretty close to being able to get a gauge like Lisa Gentry now.
Hers was
Well, you look at the bunny that you gave to Crystal.
Yeah.
She thought it was fingering weight because my stitches were so small.
Right.
And actually, there were points where with my DK weight Cyrano, I had to save it for a day where I really could look at it because my stitches in crochet DK are so tiny.
Right.
It looks like I'm working fingering weight.
Right.
So my stitches have just gotten really small.
I mean, I think I've gotten a little smaller on my crocheting, but that's because I think I'm not pulling as much on my stitches as I used to. I tend to pull on my stitches both in knitting and crochet, which probably gives me a larger gauge. So I'm trying not to do that, and it probably is better for my hands too.
Probably.
Okay. Are you done?
Yes, I am, because I had the bag and then the owl.
Okay, I'm going to show you the one I'm working on.
Oh, the pattern was the Cronkled Socks by K.F. Jones. I forgot to say that.
This is in my Plover Bird pink and purple teacups bag, Plover Bird. And I'm working on the Comfy Cozy Shawl from the Scrap Shawl pattern by Anastasia Zattel. And I'm using various skeins. Most of it's Miss Babs. I think, in fact, all of it might be Miss Babs. So you can see it is getting quite large. Wow, look at this tie.
Oh, wow.
It is getting quite large. I had dreams of finishing this for my retreat. I'm not going on my retreat, so it doesn't matter. But maybe for Christmas.
And if you have it done for your retreat, great. You have something to cuddle in while you're watching it on the screen.
Watching it on the screen. Yeah, so this is...
because it really is a cuddly, happy shawl. I wear mine all the time.
I love this shawl. The other one I have is too heavy. I really don't wear it very often. It's acrylic.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like, even though I have things that are made out of acrylic, mostly sweaters, like this is an acrylic sweater, but I'm kind of moving away from that. A, I don't like how it feels on my hands when I'm knitting it. And then B, it just, I don't know, I don't like the feel of it as much when I'm wearing it. It doesn't have as much give.
Yeah, I don't mind it so much in sweaters, but I'm noticing it for shawls. I prefer to just,
Well, it's not as breathable.
Yeah, I think even if I have to go to, a less expensive, I can get a decent, less expensive, some of these stores, like Knit Picks and things like that.
Now, I think if you absolutely had to, the thing is it's still acrylic, so acrylic only has so much give. I was going to say the Heartland by Lion brand, but even that has only so much give, and eventually, just like if you go for a less expensive Knit Picks or something.
Right. I mean, I don't mind using acrylic for certain types of things, but I prefer to use
if I don't wear the sweater or whatever it is I'm making, then it failed.
Well, if it's a wool, a lot of times I don't mind as much like a wool blend or something, which is I think James C. Bread is a wool blend.
No, I think it's pure acrylic.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure that's pure acrylic.
Any event, there is one that's a wool blend. I forget which one it is. And I don't mind working with that. Encore, I think,
because that's the one that you made the teddy bear out of, and I made my slippers out of.
And that's not too bad.
No, it's not.
But anyway, so that takes care of that.
Alrighty, so next for me, let me just make sure I don't lose my stitch marker. Okay, so I did work a little bit. Now, granted, when you work on this at all, it takes a while because it's the ribbing that goes on forever.
Oh, seriously?
What could that be?
Okay, I'll be right back. It might be medicine or something.
Oh, you know what? They did say that they were sending the medicine. So in my Silver Shed USA Kitties in the News bag, first of all, our news story. And we're gonna do we've done this one before, but we'll go ahead and do this one. The Search is Over by Scoop Somali. The search for America's top cat has finally come to an end. Finalists competed last week, and it was unanimous. Hal Haskat's hula hoops talents were like nothing ever seen in this competition. He dazzled friend and foe alike with his rendition of Cat Who Swallowed the Canary, a hooping routine that ended in a roar of applause. Lucky for kitties around the country that Hal intends to end his amateur status and hit the catwalk next year. So there's Hal with his hula hoop. Now in here, like I said, this is the project's Lake of Shining Waters. The pattern is the Ann sweater.
Mail came early.
Sounds like.
Of
course, one of the other few times that we don't have something coming in that we want to show on the podcast.
Right.
Did my thing from Amazon come in yet for the Sharps container? It would have been a box.
I don't think so.
Okay, it has still has time. Dad thought it might arrive today.
Yeah, well, it might arrive later.
Yeah. Well, Amazon does thing on their own schedule.
But our medicines came in, so.
Yay.
That's why she wanted to sign. She's cute. She looks like she's all like of 10.
So, still doing the ribbing that never ends.
The Reuben that never ends?
Well, I'm having trouble with like vowels today. And speaking in general. Mm-hmm. It currently measures approximately, we are almost at 4 inches. And
wow.
I wanted to get to 5 inches. I think they said I only need to get to 4.5.
That is good.
Oh, the angle I was at, we made it a little closer than it was, but it's about 3.5 inches right now. So I'm about 1.5 inches from where I want to be. It grows slowly. Just because it's a lot of ribbing. But I really think that I will like it better if I go to the ribbing length I want instead of just what's prescribed.
Right.
And I have enough yarn to do so. I think I even have some more that I found when I was going through my yarn stash that I accidentally forgot to put in here. So, yes. That's that one, and I have one more.
Okay.
In my... Which one's next? Silver Shed USA. Eek. Bat Signal bag. This is the Puget Sound. This is the Men's Fundamental Pullover by Jen Hagen. And the back has been done for a while.
Very pretty.
I mean, it's just plain stockinette. But this is Cascade 220 worsted. And this one, still working on the front. I still have a way to go. I'm showing you the wrong side. There we go. Not that you can tell the difference necessarily. Let's pull it really close.
Looks nice.
So,
You think you'll finish it for Christmas, or
it's gonna be rough. You know, I had I had all these hopes to finish it for Christmas, but the thing is, I had underestimated how distracted I'd be trying to. I didn't expect to be making myself a whole sock collection because I'm moving to all hand knit socks,
right?
Because they feel better on my feet, and then also, you don't realize even when you're using like US 10s how much longer it takes to knit a guy's size than it does a woman's size. Because I work on this just about every day, just even if it's only a couple rows.
I'm looking at Talia's feet and like, that turned out really nice.
This is her Plum Deluxe.
Plum Deluxe, yeah. The first one I did.
So yeah, Mom, if you want to see more of your yarn on my feet,
Yep.
you know how to make that happen.
Yep. I do know how to make that happen. Okay.
So yeah, now it's your turn.
Okay, in my Mama C Owls bag, the large one from Christina. Thank you, Christina. Pretty, pretty. I know I said I was going to make owls that look like this, but I haven't had a chance. And I haven't really felt like making toys. But this is my bag end wrap project from the Burrow Wrap pattern by KF Jones. And I'm using Dragonfly fibers and maybe some other yarns. I think this one's Kelpie. It doesn't look like Kelpie, though. And this, I'm still in the same color that I was before, but it just, because it's not a very big yarn and not very big needles, I mean, it's not small, but it's not really big either. It takes a while, and I only do like a couple rows at a time because I get sidetracked by other
You're
things.
using US 4s, right?
I think I'm using 7s.
7s?
Let's see.
That's the...
Yeah, 7s.
Huh. I was going to say, because I'm like using like 4s or 6s or something on the sweater, so I'm like...
Right.
Huh.
What kind of yarn is it that you're using? What?
That is... I think Indian Treasure is a sport.
Sport. Okay, this is a DK. So,
Yeah.
And generally, I like a little bit more of a drapey fabric.
You do like it a little bit. Now this is still drapey, but that's just because of the alpaca.
Right, right. So yeah, that's all I have to really say about this. You can see I have made progress. I have about, I don't know, 10 rows, 15 rows to do. If I just sit down and do it, then, you know, I can move on.
I can learn to do it.
But
You
I
can learn
don't
to do
always
it.
I don't always have the brain power to just sit here and do this over. I can if I sit down. I get, you know, interested in something. This is not a difficult knit. I just have been sidetracked, and sometimes my husband, especially for date night, we tend to have popcorn or something, and I don't want to get popcorn all over my yarn. And I don't want to have to get up in the middle of the movie and wash my hands because I'm lazy that way. Actually, I don't want to inconvenience my husband because he always wants to, he'll pause it for me. I don't want to do that all the time. So, yeah.
The singing was a reference.
Yeah, I know it's annoying when you sing over me.
I didn't sing over you. I waited for a pause.
Oh, okay.
You weren't actually talking.
Really?
Yes.
Is that a fact?
It was a fact. Okay, so next I did some work on this because I had finished the other thing. Whoopsie.
Sure.
In my Mama C tutor bag is the pattern is called, I actually started this before my Beatrix Bunny socks. This is the Alice Easter Bunny socks. I saw this on Instagram, and actually I need to find Lay's Etsy shop again because I remember liking quite a few of her sock patterns.
Is this a repeat or is this a new? I mean,
This is a new.
It's a new one, but is it a new sock pattern too?
Yes, it's
Okay.
a new sock pattern. It's Alice's.
Okay. Okay.
I had started this before I knew whether or not I got into the other testing. So
You do have an owl's bag. Are those birds?
those are birds. I thought it was owls.
Okay.
But it's birds. They're birds
Oh,
on the wire.
Okay.
So it's Alice's Easter Bunny socks. Like I said, the designer does have some really nice patterns on her Etsy shop. I found her. I think because I follow Colorwork, like the hashtag on Instagram, I happened to just catch her Instagram post, so I immediately went and chased it down. I think I caught a sale.
How do you follow a hashtag?
I'll have to show you. You can follow a whole hashtag. Like, I do that for Colorwork, and then sometimes I get some really good things out of that. So, this pattern I liked better than the one I tested for, because it combined two things I really love.
Oh, I remember that one, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It combined hearts and bunnies, and if you've seen my designs, you know I tend to make that a combination. So I ended up starting it again with larger needles and changing out the yarn I was using. I found that I had this red sparkle, and I had enough of it.
It's so pretty.
So
it looks classic and it looks festive.
Yeah, so I think she used blue in her pattern. So red sparkle, and then I have this. It's the color changing yarn,
right,
for the bunnies.
Have you gotten that yet?
I just started. You can barely see.
Oh, right, I see it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Their eyes are starting to poke out,
okay.
But yeah, I'm really excited about this. I think I'm gonna have no problem getting this over my foot. I'm using US 3s.
That should be fine. And what?
Well, you got to remember I'm a tight knitter, but
what's the weight again?
Fingering.
Fingering. Okay. That's a large needle for fingering.
Well, for Kay's, I had to go for 2 to get her gauge.
Mm-hmm.
So for Colorwork, where you're already going to be a little tighter, it makes sense that I have to go to 3.
Right.
For the cuff, I end up being able to do the 2. So it makes sense when I think about it, like, oh, okay, duh.
Right.
So I had to keep that in mind when I'm knitting sock patterns. I'm fine with things like the ones I make for both of us, the Dance All Night, because they're very stretchy. Mm-hmm. If there's a lot of ribbing, I'm fine, but it seems to be the fingerings weight ones I might have to go up a little bit.
And especially, like you said, if it's colorwork, because
colorwork
gives you more density.
It does, and also it won't stretch as much.
Yeah, it's less elastic. Mm-hmm.
Because you have the floats that prevent a certain amount of stretchage.
Stretches?
Stretchage. Yes,
that's
stretch.
Not a word.
Edge.
I know.
AGE.
Yes, not a word.
So yes.
Coined a new phrase.
Yes, and I guess the pattern's in here, but I don't want to take it off of where I have it to tell you who the designer is. Maybe it'll tell me on here. Charlotte Stone. And I guess her shop is Stone Knits.
Oh, that's neat.
It's a new pattern. It's 2021. She did it around Easter time. And like I said, I got it on sale. I'm totally going back to her shop and checking out her other sock patterns at some point. Because I remember when I picked up this one, I was like, I like this one, I like that one. And I like the way, I like her aesthetic. And the color work goes down the foot too.
Don't put that too far away when I look at that.
What, the
bag?
The bag, okay. Yeah. Oh, you want to look at it for yarn possibly. Mm-hmm. Is this a good spot for it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And I think I have one more.
Okay.
Yes. So in my, is that this one? Yes, I think it is. In my little skein in the big wool bag, Velveteen Rabbit. This is my Bullfinch socks. This one should stretch pretty well too. That's one thing that saves both this pair and the Cronkled is there's a lot of give to them. So even though I should have gone up a needle size, I'll be totally fine. Right. Because both of these are almost like having ribbing up it.
Right.
But
I almost wore my Batlin shirt today.
That would have been funny.
Yep. We've done that on occasion. Worn the same colors or something.
But yeah, so this is the Jemima Socks.
Is that as in Jemima Puddle Duck?
It is. This is one of her Beatrix Potter ones. I have Peter Rabbit printed out and behind some yarn. Like I printed out multiple sock patterns. I have it behind yarn so I know when I finish something I can pick the next one. So this one's Jemima though, and I love this yarn. And it has a matching heel. This is West Yorkshire Spinners.
Very nice.
And yeah, I have noticed that Kay does something that I don't see as, like most of the time when I see people do, it's heels and toes, but she will do just heels sometimes. A lot of times she'll have just the heel. That will be a different color.
Okay. Some people do heels,
toes and cuffs. That's what I see a lot of times. But Kay tends to do just heels or maybe heels and toes.
That would be fun to do, Taya, for what we're thinking about. You have the yarn, then you have a color for heels, a color for toes, and a color for cuffs. It would be fun.
Yeah, there would be. So yes, that is this. This has not, the other, certain socks have been getting more love than others. This isn't getting on quite as much, but that's because it's got more love.
Is that your second one?
Yes.
All right, let me just finish this stitch here so I can figure out what I'm going to show you next. Sometimes I feel like if I don't work something on the podcast, I'm not going to have anything to show you. Other times, I end up doing a lot more than I thought. Okay, that takes care of that one.
I feel like even though, like with socks, because the rows are so short, I feel like I get more progress for the little bit I work on something. So it's like almost a cheat.
Right.
Particularly if I'm working a worsted or a DK weight sock.
Okay, let me just put this in here because
And then I kind of feel like I won something.
this is my pattern notes. I don't want to lose that. Been known to do things like that. Okay, in my Silver Shed USA Star Wars bag, my green Star Wars bag, is my Arwen's Hooded Cowl from the Thorns Hooded Cowl pattern by Epiphanora. And I'm using Chalgoose US 10s. This is not...
Did you get the wrong bag?
Oh, I skipped one. Okay,
Oh, okay.
This is the Mad Hatter, okay, by the Sorabelle pattern by Sarah Sweethearts. I just skipped one. Okay, I'll go back to the other one later.
Skip to my Lou.
Yeah. So this is growing, and according to the other camera, you are seeing the colors. It looks really dull and not pretty on my thing, but it looks really pretty in person and looks really pretty on the other camera. So this is Miss Babs Yowza in Mad Hatter colorway. Such a very unimaginative name for this scarf. And I didn't work a lot on this, but this is one that I can just do a couple rows and it gains a couple inches, it seems like, because it's such a big stitch. I'm using a so what am I using? A J hook for a DK yarn. So that's a big stitch for this. That takes care of what I don't really have much to say about it. I've done the Sorabelle so many times that
Nothing new to elucidate everybody with.
no, they are well. I wish that she would do more patterns. I wish she was available.
Yeah, and but we have no idea where.
I have no way of contacting her, even though I know what her name is. It's on my pattern.
Yeah, it is. She has no internet presence
None.
anymore, as far as we can tell.
As far as we can tell. I think she just dropped off the internet for a while. She's off grid.
Yeah.
So
this next one is in my... Yeah, that is the next one. In my Silver Shed USA nurse's caps on a pale field. Yeah, I think this is the normal X large. I think this is normal large. I think
so, yeah.
X large is the size above that. So I think this is the large. And this is the Cuddly Owl Sweater project. The pattern is Ginny's Cardigan by Mary Chiba. I always want to say Mari when it's spelled M-A-R-I, but I guess it is Mary.
it depends. I've heard Mari as well.
Okay, Mari Chiba. I'm knitting it for Mom. I had knit this sweater for myself a long time ago, but in acrylic. I think Mom's is going to be so much nicer. And I am probably about
so pretty.
half an inch from finishing the rib. And then I'll be able to start on the sweater with lace in the back.
This is so soft.
It is very soft.
And that has to be hand washed, right?
Yeah, because it's alpaca.
Yep.
I think this is that superwash alpaca or whatever that.
Oh, it's a superwash?
But still, I would wash it by hand.
Yeah.
Because you would not want to risk this.
No, I would not.
And I know it looks small here on the needles, but you got to remember that A, Mom's a small person. B, this is going to stretch. It does go around. And it has a pretty decent sized ribbing for the button band.
Nice.
So yeah. And this is for me who, A, I don't have it stretched all the way. And then B, I'm bigger than you. Although I think I made the same size for you as I did for myself, simply because of the options she had available.
Right.
But looking forward to watching this grow, although I know that my yellow sweater is making jealous noises because it knows it's close to being done.
That's the one by
That's the other
Joanna
Joanna Johnson, yeah. And I should just finish it, but because I don't need that sweater right now, and I do need socks, socks are kind of winning.
I have to dye up some yarn for my next pair of socks.
And this yarn here is Mom's Pennies from Heaven.
Okay, let me just get this.
Oh, I think I have one more.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So in my... Well, how many do you have left?
3.
That makes sense. So in my... this is Kiki Boo Bags Puzzle Pieces bag. This is the project that I call Lady Susan. This is probably my primary project this week because I'm so close to finishing it. These are the Cozy Reading sock pattern by KF Jones. This is a Knitty U pattern, and there's my last 2 stitches. I am using Mom's Courtly Love colorway. So the first sock has been finished.
Very pretty.
And I used some red Miss Babs for the heel. One person did a little bit of a brighter pink, or more of a Barbie pink, I think it was, and she had a white heel, which was pretty as well. Someone said it made him think candy.
Yeah, it would make me think of candy cane or peppermint or something. I would be afraid to put white on my heel, though.
I know that I initially had white set aside for a heel, and then I changed my mind because of that exact thought.
That might be pretty for heels and for cuffs and
toe.
Well,
Cuffs, yeah. And I don't mind in the main part of the sock.
Right. I'm sure it looks pretty, but for me, I would probably not be a good choice for me to put white on my heel.
So I am very, very close to starting the next part, which is the toe, and then I'll have another pair of socks.
Yay for socks.
And initially I was like, well, I only need to be doing the finger eight. Well, I'm like, well, no, we're headed into winter. I should be doing a mixture of both, and then I can always change up. And besides, the heavier weight ones are good for when I want something quicker to knit that's easier to see, because this is very easy to see.
Does it have like a easy to remember repeat?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
I mark it off as I go.
Right.
Kays tend to be that way. She's really good about that.
Yes, she is.
So yeah, as you can see, very close.
I like working case patterns.
And she's converted me over to DPNs completely for... Not DPNs, Magic Loop completely for my socks, because I just find like I knit them faster.
Well, I'm always afraid if I don't do Magic Loop. I think, and I haven't done anything yet. I keep saying I'm going to do the Magic Loop. I'm going to have to sit down and do it. That's something I want to master. But at least for hats, I like hats.
It really isn't that hard, so I think you'd be fine.
Because I'm always afraid DPNs are fiddly for my hands, and I'm always afraid I'm going to drop a bunch of stitches that way.
Although you'll actually drop fewer than if you yank one side of your needles out, like I've totally done before for Magic Loop. What would happen is I would catch the cable, one end of the cable, and something, I'd end up yanking it out, and I'd have like half my stitches hanging out there.
Oh, that's nice.
Whereas with DPNs, you only drop a fourth of your stitches, possibly.
Right. Well, I don't want to drop any of my stitches. Dropping stitches is not what I want to do.
Usually I'm able to rescue everything. And I have got, will you rescue? I'm not in tune, but remember from the Rescuers, the theme song?
No.
The first Rescuers?
No.
Basically, it's like, it's a woman singing sadly about, will you rescue me? Remember the little girl was kidnapped in that one.
Okay. In my Silver Shed USA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bag is my Arwen Hooded Cow project from the Thorin Hooded Cow pattern by Epiphanora. And I only did about a couple, I think I did 2 rows or 1.5 rows on this, rounds. But it's moving along. I like this pattern. I just have not really sat down to do anything with any regularity. So,
Well, I know mine's sitting in limbo. That's because I did like 3 right in a row, and I think I burned myself out, and I needed a break from that pattern.
try to show them the right side here. Let me see. It's kind of flipping on itself. So you can see what it looks like right now. It is growing. I'm always surprised when I see how much it grows, considering I haven't worked on it a lot. And this is nice because I just see, okay, what is this row supposed to be? And I go. And like this one, this particular section I'm on, I do this for a few more rounds yet before I change it to do the other row.
Yeah, that's nice.
So this is really nice. Let me make sure I'm in the right. I have to be doing it this way. Yeah, so this yarn is Miss Babs Yowza, and it's in the blue slate colorway. And I think I'm using size 10s. Yeah, size 10s.
Yeah, I think that's what the pattern calls for.
So, yeah, I do whatever the pattern. And I like the way the pattern feels. It's nice and light. And I keep saying I might give this to Little Miss Thing, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, you don't have to make that decision now.
No, I don't. So, think about it tomorrow.
Exactly.
Reference.
Indeed.
Okay, your turn.
So, let me bring up my show notes again. In my... It's this bag, yeah. In my Silvershed USA bookworm bag is my All Is Cool sock project. And the pattern is All Is Calm by KF Jones. Once again, I am working with US ones, but I think this will also stretch a little bit because of the lace.
Do you think you'll do 2s in the future?
Yes, I will definitely switch over to 2s in the future. Because that's... With 2s, I get the gauge that Kay gets, and she keeps consistent with her gauge throughout, so I'll just do 2s throughout. And it does seem that for most sock patterns, other than my worsted weight ones, I've been having to go up.
Right.
And I think it's the only reason why I haven't had to for worsted weight is because I tend to do a lot of ones that are ribbed.
Right.
So...
That's very pretty.
This is Rotary Dial is the colorway, and... This was someone we met at the Fiber Festival. Alan Gainey,
All right.
Fiber Arts, Tess, I believe.
Is that Tess?
I believe this is Tess because I seem to remember getting that from her booth.
Not the. Okay, Tess. Right.
Tara.
Tara's
that,
it. Tara's
not
it.
Tess.
Yeah,
Tara.
Tess is the other one.
I'm sorry. I meant to say Tara.
Tara.
Because she was right across from Dragonfly.
Right. Or nearly so.
yeah.
Kind of kitty corner from her.
So a little bit of lace there for when you see my thing catches on things. I was lucky to yank my stitches
Your
out.
thing. Is that the technical term?
Yeah, so this is for, when I need something a little cooler for when I have hot feet, but I want something to cover the bottom of my feet.
Yep. Very cool.
I'm up to, I think it's 7 or 8 pairs of finished socks right now. And I'm hoping to build that up so I eventually have, enough to really pick and choose. I've cleared out a drawer just for them. So it's not sharing a drawer anymore with my hats.
Right.
And then one last double for me. And then there'll be a single one after yours.
Okay.
So, in my Silvershed USA Oops is a bunny bag.
Do I have tea left for this?
I
do.
I have in here my Sushi House Socks project. And the pattern is the Dance All Night socks. And the depth of my creativity, the yarn is called Sushi.
Well, this is not, sock number 10 or something.
Very different in feel to my Mad Tosh ones, insofar as the color is so different. And this is very much lighter. It's very much springier.
Springier?
Yeah.
Springer? Spaniel?
So yeah, it's very light, very much lighter than the other one.
It's very pretty.
And a little bit more variation, which is good, so I can have a little bit of change up. Because this pattern is good for whatever you use it for. You can use whatever yarn, just about.
I love mine. I put it on over my regular socks inside my slippers. because I like the little bit of extra padding it gives me, and sometimes I need the extra warmth because I get cold in the house. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've told Mom that if she wants to, she was talking about dyeing up one of your Christmas yarns.
Without packages.
In a worsted weights. So she have a slightly heavier one that I can knit up for her. Mm-hmm. So there's that. Your turn.
Oh, okay. I thought you had two.
That was my second one.
Oh, okay. Let me just finish this stitch.
Because I did the this pair first.
Okay. Let me see here. Put this away. This is fun. I don't know why I don't work on it more. I haven't been enthused about any of my projects for a long time. I think I'm getting it's coming back round again.
It's all coming back. It's coming back to me now.
All right. Are you finished?
Yes. You're the party pooper.
Yes, well, the party pooper.
Reference.
It is a reference. And if the way we said it, as poorly as we said it, isn't a giveaway. Okay. This is our first special bag. I think this was for our
it was like 100 members or something like that
way back when. So, and you can see how that turned out with the little faces and stuff.
Or maybe that was 1 year. 100 members might have been the yarn.
Maybe it might have been,
because I don't think we had met Anne yet for 100
right.
members.
We were doing Knitting's My Bag mostly in Pullover.
Yeah, so I think maybe that was 1 year.
Okay. Well, in any event, this is my other scrap shawl. This is by special request. It's from the Scrap Shawl by Anastasia Zattel. This is for Talia. Where's my hook? This was a tad heavier.
Well, that's because that's the way I like it.
But where's my hook?
Probably still in your back.
My hook.
My kingdom for a hook.
Where'd it go? It's a medicine bottle full of stitch markers. We have no shortage of medicine bottles.
None whatsoever.
Okay. Where?
Did you put it in a different bag maybe the last time you worked on it?
I don't know. Let's see here.
I wouldn't put it past you to maybe put it in with your other one like that.
I mean, it might be caught in the project somewhere.
I think you would have seen it.
Where'd it go?
I don't know. So I think you might put it in another bag.
Let me show you this anyway. I'll find the hook later. I wanted to work on this, but we'll see. So you can see this is also getting big. It's almost as big as mine. So you can see the variation. I want to continue this row as long as I can because I only have one skein of it.
You're actually getting quite a decent amount of a size row out of it.
Yeah.
Which is good.
So this one, and then I'll go back to the blue and go from there. But I don't understand where my hook is. All right.
The mystery of the missing hook.
All right, St. Anthony. Where is my hook?
So let me finish my knot.
I'm done. So.
And then I'll be able to move on to my next one. Which, actually, my final one. I could have probably gone just one last one instead of doing two.
Put it in here.
Is that the one that doesn't have its own hook holder?
I think so. Let's see here.
Because if it has its own hook holder, it's probably in the hook holder.
Well, I have three. I usually keep it in this DIY bag.
And it's not in that?
And it's not in there, so...
Yeah, I wonder if you put it in the other bag. You know, you tend to keep that and the Cerebel and your other one all together on your lap when you're showing them, and I bet you stuck it in the wrong bag.
Where do I have that? At least I have the hook that I use on it down, so I can get another hook if I can't find it. Okay.
I bet it's another one.
It might be. This one I'm using an eye hook.
Yeah, because I don't like it quite as lofty as she does. I mean, the whole point for me is that it's cuddly and warm.
Well, I find it cuddly. I just like it to be more drapey.
Okay,
I don't know where the other... I usually put it in here in a...
Not lost. You just can't find it.
I lost it. I can't find it. Aw, look at my little turtles. And owls.
Very cute.
Turtles and owl.
Several owls.
Yeah. 3 owls and 4 turtles.
So in my Silver Shed USA books bag, This has, okay, so I call this, and we'll see if you get the reference. I'll probably have to tell Mom. Oaken's Winter Stock.
I know what Oaken is. Oaken, I don't know where I've heard it, but I know I've heard it.
I'm actually going to give it away because
I know. Yeah, I know.
it's from Frozen, where that's a guy who he has the store and he has the hot tub.
Right.
Hi, family. Woohoo!
Yeah. I remember
Him.
Yeah.
And
That's random.
well, the reason I call it, the colors make me think of Frozen, and because it's a winter hat, it's what remains of the winter stock. Remember they got the big summer blowout.
Right.
So this is the Bargello hat by K.F. Jones of Bakery Bears fame. This is another Knit a You pattern. I'm using James C. Brett. This will be for Mom because I don't generally wear this kind of winter hat.
And I'm debating. I have the pattern pulled up. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not.
So I'm at the point where I am starting to add my main color again. I finished with, this is all that's going to be in the purple. You know, the purple's done. Then it's playing it until it decreases.
Okay.
And you can see where I'm adding the blue back in.
That's going to be nice and warm.
And it'll probably go over, I figure, another hat because that's what you usually do. So.
Yeah, I get really cold. My ears are cold, and I get earaches easy if my ears get cold.
And she provides for enough room for you to be able to have just a little bit of, not like true slouch, but, you know. And I think that this will be big enough even for your hair.
Okay, cool.
Because initially I was concerned being too big, but it's not, I don't think.
I mean, even if it's the under hat as opposed to the, you know.
I don't think it's going to be too small. My concern is more that it's going to be too big. But, yeah, this is just nice and simple. It's easy and quick to work up. It's a chunky yarn, so it won't take long to finish. I'm just waiting I have to finish what's left of the color work, and then I'm just waiting for the last part of the videos. I mean, I can finish it based on the pattern, but I'd rather wait for her video.
Right.
Because, you know, it's Knitting University. I should watch my course material before I start the assignment.
That's overrated.
So yeah, that's the last of mine.
Okay, my last one is in my Mama C. Owl's bag. Not Mama C. Sorry, Emma. My Emma Owl's bag. Love this. She did not make it, but she gave it to me, and I love it. She gave it to me. She told me where it was from, but I forgot.
Does it say on the inside?
It doesn't say.
Mine did.
But this is a really adorable bag, and I love it. And it's special because Emma gave it to me. This is the baby blanket I'm working on. This is from the Surabelle scarf pattern because I use the Surabelle for everything. And this is called the Mint Surprise Baby Blanket. And we'll see who actually receives this blanket because there are several people who are expecting in our parish. So whoever has the baby first, I guess, will get it. Yeah.
They have to get in your good side.
I have to get on my good side. So yeah, that takes care of that. I'm basically done. Do you have a finished object?
I do. And then I have something for design, but that'll be in its own section.
Okay.
But it's hidden underneath all the things. Come here. Because I smartly covered it with all my bags. So
you are smart. You is smart. No, you are smart.
I finished my Royal House socks.
Very pretty.
These are the Dance All Night socks in the Mad Tosh.
That turned out really pretty.
So I'm really happy with that. I'm actually probably going to put them on after the podcast because it's too warm during the podcast.
Right, with all the lights.
Yeah, or I might save it for Sunday. I don't know. I've been holding off wearing it this entire week. Although it did take a little time to dry because it's been wet, and this is a fairly thick sock. This is actually worsted weight instead of DK. Because the pattern calls for worsted, but a lot of times I knit it with a light worsted / DK.
I love the color on that. It's really nice.
So, I tend to fold my socks like this, and I forget how big a sock this is. When I do that, there we go. It's eating itself now. So yeah, these are ready for wearing and enjoying, and I'm really looking forward to them. Also, a random minor thing. They probably fell on the other side. Maybe when I picked up my sweater.
Or your socks?
I had an orange pair that I wanted to show.
No, I know I said, but maybe when you picked up your socks.
I didn't see them there. Hold on. I'm going to get up and check because I've been throwing my project bags over here, and what probably happened is, yep, I just lodged it. I just wanted to show because I'm ridiculously proud of this. I've learned how to darn socks, so it means I don't have to just like throw them in the trash. Because I prefer not to put all that work into something and then just throw it away because it got a hole in it. So this was the 3-color method. So it's going to show up as being darned. You're going to have to see that. But it feels like it's woven almost the way they have me do it. And it's with floss. So it seems really sturdy. I'm really happy with it because I somehow spontaneously got a hole in the exact same spot.
On both sides.
On both sides when it had no hole in the morning and I had no idea that it was getting ready to have a hole. So I don't know, it just like, it almost felt like I burned them off or something because, well, the thing is my feet were burning hot. That's the only reason why I knew I had holes.
Right.
Because I reached over to try to take my socks off and I was like, I can feel my heel. Wait a second.
Ventilation.
So I have no idea. It's just like they decided at the same time, like, you know what? We're just going to give up together. Okay.
Ventilation.
So it was really odd, but these are fixed. These were also not superwash, so I'm wondering if that also made them a little bit more inclined to give out, because there is some felting on the inside.
Right.
Before I went to completely doing this hand wash. This is another KF Jones pattern. This is a 3 chimneys pattern. I had adjusted the stitch count for this, so I could do this in I think this is a DK or worsted weight.
Okay.
And I was really proud of myself for doing that adjustment. Because at that point I wasn't doing fingering weight socks.
Awesome.
So yeah,
Perfect.
these are done.
Anything else?
Everything else is designed. So,
Okay.
Any papercraft?
I have been doing a lot of research for papercraft. I've been wanting to do a journal cover and maybe go from there to making my own journals. So I've been going through different methods, and it's really fascinating, but boy, it's a rabbit hole. You just go and you keep going. But I haven't done much of anything. Oh, I forgot my my acquisitions for that, but that's okay. Yeah, so that's basically, I have been dabbling. I've been looking at things. I've been having the urge to do something papercraft related, but I don't know yet what I'll be doing.
Then I don't have anything for
Beads
and string. It's in one of those places where I want to put things in the shop, but also I have a finite number of beads, so I don't want to make things. I want to like maybe wait for people to order things. Even though I have all these centerpieces I want to use, I kind of have to wait till I have more of a capital to be able to just use up all my beads.
Right. But you might want to put something in one thing or something.
Well, I probably should, finish, cut all the loose ends off of my stations of the cross, and then take a picture, and then that'll be ready to go.
Right,
it's just sitting there waiting for that.
Because you want to make sure that you...
I have 3 things on the go. I just haven't felt like doing them.
Right. No, I'm saying that you want to make sure that you keep
it
popping
active,
up.
yeah. So that's that. And then you have some papercraft things to show.
Yeah, but that's that's acquisitions.
I'm going to go ahead and do that now because the other thing is a big deal for me, so...
Oh, okay. Well, I have a couple things to show for... I have a lot, actually, to show for
I just have one
acquisitions.
thing for acquisitions.
Okay, go ahead. We show this together.
So we have...
Tapestry needles.
Tapestry needles, which is great, so thank you.
Okay. Before we go into my own acquisitions, I want to show you... We had a wonderful package from Christina, who is Mama
yes.
C. And she was very generous. This is going to be 3 prizes. But before I show you, I want to show you the card she sent me. She sent us, actually, the card. Whoops, there goes the ball band for this one. Okay. I'm not going to show you the inside because that's private, but she said she saw this card. She thought of me. The card's directed both of us, but that's it. Isn't that pretty? Snowy owl. I love snowy owls. So we appreciate that, Christina. And she said that this is... This prize is what for any long we want to, but for 3 different people. Okay, so this is all Encore yarn. It's this is, yeah, you're right, Ty, 75% acrylic and 25% wool. Plymouth Encore.
Yeah.
Love this yarn. Now on one screen this is looking like a brownish, but it's actually a maroon, so you can see that. Another one is sort of an eggplant, or it's a purple. Okay. And then we have a cream, so this will go to 3 people. It's a worsted weight, and it's got 200 yards. This is a really nice yarn. I do like Encore yarn. This is when I first went to doing non-acrylics. I did get some regular wool, but I also picked up this kind of yarn. It was a nice transition from acrylic into worsted. I mean to non-acrylic. And she also sent me, this is for me. I don't know if she made this or not, but it doesn't really matter. It's adorable, and she sent this to me because she knows how much I like owls. She said I can hang it with my other owls. So, yes, he will join the flock. I'm really excited. He's adorable. Thank you, Christina. So cute. So absolutely adorable. So the 3 of these belong to you guys. 1 of these belongs to me. And she's always very, very generous with us. We have some very, very generous members, and they keep you guys in prizes. We appreciate that, because we couldn't give the wonderful prizes we do without your help. So thank you very much. Now, my own acquisitions, this is the paper stuff I was telling you about for the journal and stuff. Okay, I think this is a craft bond glue. It's a tacky glue. I'm not sure this is what I need, but it will do for now. Okay. And then I got, well, these weren't for my crafting, but I got some pens for my journals. I got a couple of stencils from Michaels. So this one's a heart, and this one is flowers, and these are letters. And the good thing about this one, I picked this one up. I said to my husband later, there's 3 of them in here.
Oh, that's nice.
There's the capitals, there's the lowercase, and then there's numbers.
Huh.
So this will be helpful. And then I picked up, this is double stick tape, which they used on some of the videos. So I never really heard of this kind of double stick tape, so I picked up some of that. And then I picked up some flowers. Okay. And then these are pages. Oh, I don't want it to be doing that. I got a little bit bent.
Oh yeah, don't get it bent. Now is it sticky on one side?
No. Okay, this has to be glued down. So I have 2 of these, I think. I have one of these, okay, and one of these. And then I have 2 of these. Music. Okay.
Oh, that reminds me. In your profiles on PH and Free Forums, there's now, you can go in there and there's a section that says, I am a, and it has like knitter, crocheter.
That's always had that.
No, I've added, it's a check thing now. You can check them.
Okay.
It's, I have one section that says the different crafts, like my, but then you can actually go into different areas, because, you know, the crafts you can maybe include things I didn't think of, but I have paper crafts, I have spinning, I have weaving, cross stitch. I added as many things I could think of, and then people can just check the ones that apply to them.
Right.
I didn't get rid of the other one. I might eventually, once people see that this other one's there.
Then I picked this up. I have another journal. This one I want to try. This is a dot journal. I want to try using one of these. I want to cover this. I also have a craft journal that I want to try covering. I was going to cover I have a spiral notebook, but I don't know if I want to go through all the trouble that they're doing for that. They're like taking the cover off and putting another cover on. I don't want to do that necessarily.
You want to cover?
I want, maybe when I get a little more comfortable with doing this kind of thing, I'll try experimenting with that. But right now, I think I'll leave the spiral journals for another time. So that's where they have acquisitions.
Okie dokie. So that leads us on to shop news.
Okay, do you have shop news?
I do. I like to.
Do you want me to? Do you want?
Yes,
okay.
please, because it's been a very long time
All
since
right.
I've had anything.
I'll
here.
do that, but I also have things that are special in here.
Well, yeah. The only reason why I say that is because it's been
That's
almost
fine.
a year.
That's fine. I don't care. That's fine. Okay. Now, I've already shown you. I seem to have a theme going here. Okay, and somebody mentioned something that made me realize I'm kind of going out of theme here. You guys saw Blue Jay Way the last 2 weeks running. So here's Blue Jay Way. This one doesn't fit the theme. Okay, this is Blue Jay Way.
Did you show this last week, or did we just talk about it?
No, I said I showed it 2
Okay.
weeks. I just said I showed it 2 weeks running.
Oh, okay.
So you've seen this one twice, right? Okay, this one I showed last week. This is Gathering Storm Clouds. This is a Hobbit reference. I didn't realize that until somebody said something. So this is eligible for tea and tails. Okay, this is a fingering sock.
And Tea and Tails is next year.
Next year all year. That's all year long. So this one will be eligible for tea and tails. All right. Now I did another skein, and you saw this. I didn't have a name for it. This is my inspiration, where I got the name. That's Mordor. This is called One Does Not Simply Walk into Mordor. Okay?
And there you go.
So that's One Does Not Simply Walk into Mordor. And my latest dyeing, that will go up soon, my yarn dyeing, that was a DK. Everything else is fingering sock. This is Mirkwood. Okay?
And that's the forest you see in The Hobbit with the spiders.
Yeah. So this is Mirkwood. I really like the way this one turned out.
It is pretty.
So these are all eligible for 2 chances at a finished object for a prize for tea and tails for next year. I may have to consider with all the things I have. I have Antwives. I have Fanghorn. I've got.
I may have a category.
I may have to have a category for Tolkien.
Yeah.
So this one is also these are also fingering socks. So I have 7 skeins of yarn that I hope to be putting up in the near future here. Now that I've got all the bell bands and the proper names, I can get these up. And I have, some ideas as well for other yarns that are related for this. One of them might be what I put into the anniversary thing, podversary thing, but we'll see. So just keep an eye on the shop. I'm hoping to get more yarn dyed up. And I appreciate, thank you, I think it was Stephanie who mentioned the Gathering Storm Clouds and got me thinking again along Tolkien lines. I appreciate that. That takes care of that.
Alrighty, so my big thing is I finally finished the Davina stocking. So it will be going up for testing after the podcast goes up. Probably Monday is my thought process. This has been a long time coming. Davina's excited because it's done in time for Christmas.
Right.
First I'm going to show you the old one. And the old one's actually the thing that started the whole thing with the designing with color work. Even though this isn't my design, I did take some charts and plug them in on an existing design. But it was a very thin stocking. I didn't realize it when I had...
And by thin, she doesn't mean like thin weight. She means thin...
Yeah, as in like, it's actually thin. And it's not very big. Yeah, and for Davina, who gets a lot on her stocking, that was a problem. So I designed a whole new one with some of the same charts, but it's all mine.
Hers.
Yeah.
All Talia's.
Yeah. So...
This is a huge...
It's huge. We'll see it in comparison.
Davina was absolutely thrilled.
Because she was a little worried, and I was initially too, because, it's... There you go. You can see it has about an inch more width.
And there's a good 4 inches at the bottom.
Yes.
3 or 4 inches. So.
I was initially concerned because it's so long, it makes it seem skinnier than it is. So it wasn't until I showed up to Davina's, old one, that I realized. And the old one she'll put up on her door or something for, a Christmas decoration.
Right. She likes to decorate her door.
And Dad's excited to have this hanging at the
Dad, Mike really likes the color work.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Hearth? Mantelpiece.
Yeah, he hangs it there. So I had to put it over there. I will have to take more pictures now that it's been blocked for the testing. I have a couple more, small things to fix on the pattern itself. Just details I wrote while I was knitting it up. But that'll be fixed before I send out the pattern to everybody. This will be released December 1st.
Perfect.
Now, if people start having trouble, I might be able to push it back a little bit, but I think that's giving people quite a bit of time.
Yeah, it gives you 3 months.
Yes, I know it took me most of the year to knit, but honestly, it was more of a
Fatigue
and stuff like that.
I think Linnea had, and she finished the first one, and she finished like 2 weeks or something like that. So no. Okay.
So yes, I'm really excited about that. That testing will be going up. Yeah. That leads us onto books and such.
Yeah, we need to. I hear Mike running around, so we're gonna have to.
Well, usually he has a few things to do, so we are.
Well, I actually hear him at the same.
I can hear him.
I don't want to do. It's almost 1:00.
Yeah.
Okay, so book wise, I really haven't been reading a whole lot. Just haven't been. Listening a little bit. I just finished The Listening Eye by Patricia Wentworth, and I don't remember if I finished that last week. Oh, I'm reading The Hobbit and Mother Teresa and Daily Prayer 2021, but I just haven't been doing it.
I'm shocked with the fact that I had a migraine on Sunday and I had all this light sensitivity fatigue. I'm shocked at how much reading I got done. Now, granted, more than half of it was Agatha Christie, and everyone knows when I read Agatha Christie, I can read multiple ones a day. So I ended up finishing 7 Agatha Christie's. Sad Cypress, which actually was a first-time read for me. Evil Under the Sun, that was a reread for me. Cat Among the Pigeons, but I actually liked better this time around. Halloween Party, Ariadne Oliver.
Oh, I love Ariadne Oliver.
Hickory Dickory Dock, which I think I liked better this time around as well. Double Sin and Other Stories. That's a short story. I don't like her short stories quite as much. Also, her short stories, every time she'll sneak something in there that's creepy or a little supernatural, and it's not, most of hers don't tend to be that way, but I'll get shivers. And she had one with a doll that was that way, and that bothered me. But the other one was Harlequin Tea Set and Other Stories.
Okay.
But the main books I want to bring attention to that I'm currently reading, even though I've had several books, including one on Mother Teresa, I just want to bring my physical ones up to the forefront. My Fellowship of the Ring, J.R.R. Tolkien, with its, all busted up cover. This one's obviously was new when I purchased it. This is The Plantagenets, The Warrior Kings and Queens Who Made England, by Dan Jones, not of Bakery Bears fame. No. And this actually helped prompt a new design that I'm working on. Can't really go into more detail than that, but this is influential in a design. Not the cover, just the book itself.
Yeah.
So yes, history-inspired design.
Yay!
I'm sure everyone is absolutely shocked. So okay. Yes, only other big news for me, and I can say this without it being really going into like a whole thing about personal. Got my first migraine injection, migraine prevention injection in, and I've had my first dose. They said it could take up to 3 months for me to notice an effect.
Right. And we had a little bit of an issue with water coming in through the ceiling.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
But my husband seems to think it's probably a loose shingle or something. So once it dries out, he'll replaster and repaint. And we're going to also get our floor done finally in the kitchen. So that takes care of personal stuff. And I'm sorry to be moving this along so quickly, but we do have to get going. Again, this is the pattern. The fabric might be a little different, but in terms of the background color, but this is what it will look like on the bag. We have medium, large, and extra large available. Okay. I'd like to hear when I talked about it on Patreons, it was unanimous. I did want a yarn skein, so I'm going to try and do that as well. But if you want that, let me know. And that's all I have to say. Yeah, that ends it for us because we just kind of combined personal with reading this time. Yes. So we want to thank everybody who commented on YouTube or on the PHN Home. If I don't mention, please check out the PHN Home. We're trying to be more active. Yes. If I don't want to miss anybody, if I miss anybody, it's because I didn't see you. I want to thank Steph, Wendy, who is MacGyver, Miss Pogo, Brittany, Looney Hiker, and Cara. Thank you very much. Kara. Thank you very much. And we wish you a very blessed week full of knitting, crocheting, and whatever it is that makes your heart happy. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 471, and that's a wrap. Bye. Bye.